So, as you might know, down in South Camden, where you live, Haltech is being built right now at the end of Broadway. It's a place that will build nuclear reactors. Have you heard about this?
No.
Do you know what site I'm talking about? The huge construction site at the end of Broadway?
No.
Do you know any of the companies that are coming? Have you heard about this?
No, not at all. This is the first time.
Do you know about Haltech and the 76ers, Subaru, and other companies coming to Camden?
Well, I know that the Sixers have just built a new facility here in Camden. As far as those other companies, no, I wasn't aware that they were coming to Camden. No.
We got all kind of business coming here, and they getting tax incentives. They ain't paying no taxes, but the taxpayers have to bear the brunt of the financial situation there, and that's not right.
Since December 2013, 17 companies have received $1.1 billion in discounts under the Grow New Jersey program for Camden, giving them an average of $293,000 in tax discounts per job.
There's not really even a model to say that these type of incentives really even work. So to say that this will work and that Camden is on a rise from this, and you can't even compare it to no other state to say, well, listen, we're on the right track or we're not, it's no accountability.
When you look at the history of development in the city of Camden, we have yet to see a groundbreaking, quote-unquote, project begin the revitalization that we've always been promised.
Tying these types of corporate relocations into an actual plan for an actual neighborhood with actual people and actual jobs for local residents is vitally important, and none of that seems to be on the table.
There is a lot of redevelopment going on in the city of Camden right now, but if you look at the people who have these jobs, they're not the people that live in Camden.
But I guarantee you go on that job site, you ain't got one person over there from Camden.
Our small companies are getting bricklaying, masonry, welding contracts, but to get to the larger point about the high-scale, high-paying jobs, that is a reality that there won't be many of us that can compete. I mean, the reality is less than 8% of us have college degrees in the city of Camden.
8.2%.
Right? 8.2, thank you. So less than 9. We made a jump. But I don't say that to be critical. I say that to say, to be realistic of the challenges in front of us and the opportunities.
Just to even have the education and the skill set to work in these companies is going to take you 4 or 5 years. They're trying to say, they have quick training programs and things like that. But if you're dealing with anything nuclear, I don't think you can have the credentials or education to deal with something nuclear in 6 weeks.
The challenge that I see in the implementation of the Economic Opportunity Act is that the companies that they're recruiting into the city have jobs that require advanced degrees.
At this point, the local political power, I think the best it can do, if it's successful across the board 100%, is extract as much sort of resources out of these corporations as it possibly can.
New Jersey is an extreme situation, and Camden's an extreme city within an extreme state. We have a bipartisan dogma that has evolved in this country over many decades. Some trace it back to the 1930s, actually, which says tax breaks create jobs. It's a profound problem in economic development, especially for neighborhoods that have been disinvested and discriminated against for long periods of time, where there's not any meaningful diversity in terms of economic activity and therefore skill set requirements for entry-level jobs. If it's just a real estate strategy, in other words, you're just trying to redevelop the primest real estate along the river and gentrify and push out people living nearby, that's not for the benefit of the community. The current Governor Christie has set a record for these so-called mega deals, these 9-figure deals, and you all have had several of them. But as we talked about in the community benefits discussion, they're not being tied to intentionally benefit and accountably benefit and enforceably benefit the people who live here right now.
We need to get more in the habit of doing that, being more in control of our community, even these incentives. Where's the community's voice in that when this money's being approved? Do we feel that this company should have gotten $250 million? Do we feel this company should have received $119 million for this? Where is our voice in this when you say, you're bringing these companies here for us? And at the end of the day, like you said, out of, I don't know how many jobs, like 36 jobs really existed out of all the jobs that were promised here. That's ridiculous.
We would ask
that these companies that have already begun to move to Camden and are in the process of moving into the city would meet with the community to hear about the concerns that have been lifted up and be willing to negotiate community benefit agreements to provide resources to address these concerns. We're also asking our mayor and the city government to work with residents and faith community to facilitate the creation of these community benefit agreements.
These CBAs would allow residents to lift up their needs in their communities in the hopes that the companies moving into the city would be able to commit their resources to help and address them.
Camden Organized for Responsible Development, also known as CORD, was created in 2015 to support community inclusion for development projects. This coalition of residents, churches, and local organizations work to ensure the money companies are saving go to fund scholarships for job training programs, address community needs for youth development programs, neighborhood revitalization, health and wellness, and business development.
Most of the organizations that support a CORD is here in the community doing the work every single day. It's so important for the support of these businesses coming in to support these organizations that's working together to make a change that's helping the people.
I see the opportunity joining hands with other organizations and other community leaders to really raise the point that not this time, it's got to be different this time.
I want to think about our future as the children that are going to graduate high school and become men and women on their own and going to need jobs in this city. What kind of outlook does Camden City have for our youth and also for the people like me?
Camden is now the home for 17 new companies. They are profiting from our community. Our community must benefit from their profits. Do you think that any of this that you hear our state or local politicians doing with economic development does anything to address those issues?
You want to say no first?
No.